making our way now into Parliament. The portico entrance is well adorned with flora and fauna, green palm trees, lovely anthuriums. A beautiful setting here at the portico, the entrance, the main entrance to Parliament. So we await the actual proceedings for the government band of Dominica to strike up the music and then the parade to begin. So all of this forms part of the proceedings, particularly on a day like this, because as I mentioned, it's the first session. So the first session always calls for an atmosphere like this, for a parade. It's the first session of the 11th Parliament. Of course, Elections Day was on the 6th of December last year, and then in came a new government, and as I speak, I see other parliamentarians coming in, making their way, of course, to the House of Assembly. Lovely hats worn by the women. We will also have Kiwana Fontaine Wilson on the outside broadcast this morning because we realize the importance of adding this Creole component to the broadcast. So we are here to bring this live to you. A kind of hush, really, on Victoria Street. Very historical space, if we could call it that. And the sun is really out this morning. A slight drizzle earlier on, but the sun has come out and it's really shining brightly here this morning. So more parliamentarians, more officials, invited guests making their way to their seats. Let me see if I can capture something on the inside as I make my way as well through the portico entrance to get a glimpse of exactly who is in and what is happening. So let me give you an idea as to what is happening on the inside. Okay, so I'm on the inside now to give you an idea. As I said earlier, several parliamentarians, so they have all taken their seats. And it's really a big moment for many. Official business now. Of course, not too long ago, there was a parliamentary proceeding really to get the new parliamentarians in particular familiarized with the proceedings of Parliament. So that was held recently. But now it's big business in the House of Assembly. And DBS, of course, bringing this to you as Parliament convenes the first session. And we mentioned that the members of Parliament, they will take the oath of allegiance. The Speaker and the Deputy Speaker will be elected and administer the oath of office as well. We also expect an address from the President of Dominica, His Excellency Charles Savre. And then what would happen is that there will be the proclamations from the Prime Minister, Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit. So the proclamations will really present the dissolution of Parliament and then the summoning of the 11th Parliament. So quite a few dignitaries are present. Let me make my way back on the outside as we capture the parade on the outside. We are also showing this to you live. So those who are viewing can understand what is happening here. Quite a few new parliamentarians. And for them, this is really the real entry into the proceedings of the House of Assembly in Dominica. A mixture of experience and youth. What is also expected here this morning is the Minister of Finance and Economic Development, Climate Resilience and Social Security, Honorable Dr. Irvin McIntyre. He will table a motion for the approval of supplementary estimates of the expenditure for the financial year. And there are other measures as well that will come before the House. One of them is a new policy will be brought. A measure that will really bring into law the policy decisions that was announced in the 2022-2023 national budget. And that is really designed to cushion the negative impact of global economic trends and to bring relief to citizens. And as I mentioned, there are other measures as well that will go before Parliament this morning. It's really a lovely setting. The ambience really lends itself to an occasion like this. The business suits, the beautiful hats worn by the women. Really a lovely setting here at the House of Assembly. Let me see if I can make my way on the outside, because we really want to capture what is happening both on the outside and the inside. The sun is still out. The sun is now out in all its glory. And this is really a beautiful setting. Kewana Fontaine, I was just speaking about the setting here, Kewana, the ambience on the inside, but even what is happening on the outside.
Yes, good morning to you, Ivona, and pleasant good morning to the listeners of DBS Radio. I've been listening to you, Ivona. Nous savons dire spécial bonjour pour tout le monde qui a écouté nous aujourd'hui. Aujourd'hui, c'est un jour spécial pour Ivona, c'est-à-dire ça veut dire un parlement neuf qui élection en place pas tout longtemps. La loi quand il s'est posé faite, il s'est posé un parlement neuf en place. C'est ça que nous avons fait. Nous avons mené une session officiellement commencé en parlement neuf en pays en Dominique. Ça c'est une grande affaire, une grande cérémonie. Avec nous, j'avais plusieurs ministères en parlement actuellement, il y a sémanté comme un parlement. Pas seulement en parlement neuf, mais nous avons un parlement neuf. Avec UK sémanté en parlement aujourd'hui, nous avons un député, nous avons un speaker du parlement, pas neuf, mais officiellement UK en place en parlement. Il y a plusieurs lois nous apprendre qui peut-être à ces papiers là pour discuter avec mettre attention à ça. Plusieurs ces motions ça là avec ces lois ça là ces discussions ça là ni pour faire et puis on l'ouvre ça qui était un budget national dernière fois il était en parlement avec nous tant qui gouvernement voulait faire cette qui soulager peuple Dominique et puis ces mesures ça là qui voulait implémenter. Comme ça c'est une grande journée quand il faut notre cas c'est une belle place tout bonnement belle ambiance pour officiellement commencer en Sky Parlement neuf. Nous ni music lovers des Wallad avec toutes ces polices là pour officiellement commencer. Nous avons le Premier ministre Roosevelt Skerrit qui a fait manœuvre pour faire la entrée. Ivona.
Yes, the Prime Minister is making his way now to Parliament. The vehicle has opened and I think he has alighted from the vehicle, Kewana.
Mm-hmm. Yes, ben oui, il a commencé à marcher. Des work, il a respect Madame Lee. Mam parlement pour uso Melissa Popon Skerrit.
So Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit and Melissa Popon Skerrit making their way now to the main entrance of the House of Assembly, the portico entrance. Prime Minister, of course, Kiwana, we know for budget day, he normally has this briefcase, sort of red, but today it's black. This is part of the ceremony. One has to follow, Kiwana. Very precise, very brief, this aspect of it, but very important as well.
But very impressive, Ivona, as well. I mean, to have the role as guard of honor, you have to be very serious and precise. Yes.
Oh, yes.
Because I don't think I would have been able to fit in that role.
That well. Oh, yes.
That's correct.
Oh, yes.
Eh bien, messieurs, mesdames, il y a debout à l'aise quand vous êtes là. Eh bien, ça c'est un process, ça c'est un bitin qui a fait tout le temps. Manière qui a fait actuellement, c'est manière qui a fait tout le temps. Eh bien, ça c'est bitin qui commence depuis longtemps. Eh bien, nous avons continué la tradition dans ces cérémonies là. Puis c'est une cérémonie qui est importante, c'est une activité qui est importante en développement pays. Nous avons besoin de qualité traitement ça dans ces activités là.
Oh yes. Oh yes. And Kiwana, not too long ago we were here.
That's correct.
Just
not too long.
7 months. Roughly
Yes.
July. Towards the end of July for budget day.
That's
And
right.
we are here again. And I was mentioning as well, not too long ago, there was this parliamentary orientation for the new parliamentarians. It was really a basic entry, into the proceedings of Parliament.
Yes.
But this is the real business now.
This is the real deal.
Oh, yes.
Parce que you
Oh,
get
yes.
opportunity là pour montrer ça you apprendre dans cérémonie, pas cérémonie mais séminaire ça là pour you ça apprendre comment pour you ça conduire quoi yo en parlement, c'est différentes lois là, c'est règles là, comment pour ça chaîne quoi yo, comment pour discuter, ça important. Et même si you pas ni même opinion yo pas qu'à supporter même bitin en cas parlement yo ni pour apprendre comment pour conduire quoi yo bien avec respect. C'est quelque chose nous voulons changer en cas parlement pour nous savoir une différence dans discussion état et discussion qui prend place en cas parlement.
Oh, definitely, Kiwana. There's something about the sun on that street. I don't know. It's hotter than other places. I know there's a slight drizzle. But
I
the
think
sun
it's
is very
humid.
hot.
Yeah, it's humid as well. It's
Yes.
ça pas qu'à ender mais vraiment chaud aujourd'hui comme ça nous ni espoir que toute bagaille a marché bien, tout le monde a senti bien actuellement c'est chimé ça là. Puis il pas aisé pour en bas soleil ça là.
Yes, it can be very hot, especially in this area. But there's also a gentle breeze blowing. We have a lot of foliage, we have a lot of flora, around that area, a lot of trees. So a little breeze is coming in, so that is very good. I was talking about this space came and have been one of historical significance because a lot happened on this Victoria Street. Of course, the Fortune Hotel is a historical, area as well. The public library, yes. The
DBS radio.
Right, that is it. And I think the Anglican Church as well.
Yeah, and now we have the State House, of course.
Of course.
The newly built State House and the House of Assembly. And what else? Fortune Hotel, as you mentioned.
Oh yes.
We have the roundabouts, the monuments.
Park. Yes, by the roundabout area close to the Fortune Hotel.
Yeah, with
We
the
have the Nick Mawa.
that's correct.
So that too is of historical importance to us.
Cenotaph just
Yes.
after that.
So a lot has happened on that street, way back when. and things continue to happen on that street as well. So what we are waiting is the arrival of His Excellency, the President of Dominica, Kiwana. So a lot will be happening here. He will have an address, and then the Prime Minister, of course, will sort of put a proclamation forward for the dissolution of Parliament, and then the first session of the 11th Parliament will start off.
Eh bien, nous parlons de ces activités-là qui sont en place en cas Parlement, mais il y a ces activités-là qui sont significantes, c'est l'adresse président là. Eh bien, dans l'adresse là, nous avons un lobbying qui est important et qui est adressé un lobbying qui est significant à pays nous. Eh bien, nous avons espéré pour l'adresse à la président, M. Sarper. Aussi, nous, qui est officiellement dit, eh bien, le Parlement qui est passé, ça finit. C'est ça nous avons actuellement fait. Officiellement, il est déclaré qui session du Parlement qui commence session 9 là.
Yes, Kiwana, and probably we can get a glimpse of what is happening on the inside before the door is closed. And yes, very nice ambience inside. Parliamentarians seated as we await the official start. Kiwana, I can't see any seat that is empty.
Eh bien, nous avons donné un cabinet qui vraiment n'est pas grand, puis ça c'est réalité, mais en pile c'est ministre là, c'est ministre qui est vraiment important. Le Premier ministre Roosevelt Skerrit, j'ai fait un annoncement qui en pays nous besoin de ces services-là, qui c'est ministère.
Oh yes.
In
comes Senator Sean Douglas.
La science qui est bien important pour cette session-là. Nous sommes en opposition 9 à Ivona.
Yes.
Nous avons différents même vijailles 9 tout bonnement. Nous pas avoir un seul vijaille là qui même vijaille là qui nous tire dernière session. So you know, 6 new faces in the house, Ivona.
6 new faces.
6 new faces. Opposition.
Oh, on the opposition
side, yes.
So, and what we have is a very interesting arrangement as well, because just Paul Victor is the leader of the opposition, but this is done on an arrangement. I think for the first 18 months, she will serve in that capacity, and then we will have Anthony Richards as the opposition leader. So the election of speaker now. So I think Iwana probably will have to
go to the house.
Let's go to another vantage point to capture for you exactly what is happening here as we try to make our way. We just heard the election of speaker. So
of the House Assembly. And two, the response to Mr. Joseph Thomas Isaac, indicating his acceptance and willingness to serve in that capacity.
Having confirmed that one nominee, Mr. Joseph Thomas Isaac, has consented for the election as Speaker of the House Assembly, since we have only one name before the House, in accordance with Standing Orders 4.3, I now declare that Joseph Thomas Isaac be declared Speaker of the House of Assembly. Honorable Cassandra Laville and also Honorable Dennis Charles is going to get up the speaker, fetch the speaker. Go fetch the speaker.
And escort him to Parliament, Kiwana.
Yes, my vono kon yo ka di speaker yo ka mene you want way as your proposer of your seconder. Ça c'est des ministères que ça ni la ville avec Madame Dennis Charles qui vini as EP speaker kai parlement. Avec quand nous tan si on seul nomination si on seul monde qui est devant Kaila pour nomination speaker kai parlement. Et ça c'est Mr. Joseph Isaac.
And I think what will happen after, we'll have the election of the Deputy Speaker of the House of Assembly. It's a very brief election, very, very brief, very precise. Of course, before we can start with the actual proceedings of the House. So, Kewana, very beautiful picture here. In the House of Assembly.
And nous avons toutes sortes de différentes qualités de chapeaux. Si on a une exhibition chapeau en parlement, c'est juste ça là. Ça a mucho importance cérémonie ça là. Puis les questions importantes, on est pour habiller bien, on est pour montrer qui ou même si on pas importance ça là, que ça on est pour habiller bien. Que ça actuellement il a venir et puis speaker au parlement.
Right. So speaker is making his way now to his area where he has to sit and where he normally sits. Joseph Isaac, the Speaker of the House of Assembly.
I beg to express my grateful thanks for the high honor the House has been pleased to confer on me. It has been a long journey because a lot of times when we end up in public life, people assume that's where it began. But I'd like to first thank the Lord for we have reached thus far. Many Dominican professionals have had a positive impact on my life, and I would like to just highlight some of them. Ambassador Erwin LaRoque, who has nurtured and guided me in my first job as a trade officer in the ministry. Mr. Patrick Pemberton for recognizing my talent and employing me at Colgate-Palmolive as an engineer. Mr. Colin Bully for challenging me at the OECS Export Development Unit. Dr. Colin McIntyre was the Minister of Trade, and at the time with His Excellency Elud Williams being the chairman of the Business Gateway Project and the Export Development Strategy, they have showed confidence in me all those years. Madam Speaker, for your work, which you have guided me through as being the Speaker when I just came in, I would like to thank you. Our most esteemed leader, who I worked with as a Minister of Environment, that's the Honorable Dr. Roosevelt Skerritt. You have taught me about leadership in a different way, about being cool, being measured. I would like to thank you on the public record, not as a politician, but as a person who I see as one of the best HR person I've seen in my life, even if I've worked with multinationals. So I would like to thank you for that, and I want all Dominicans to recognize that you are not just a politician, but a person who really have a depth of empathy for people and others. And most importantly, my wife and family, you have been there with me through thick and thin. And finally, most people who have been challenging me throughout my life, whether it's positive or negative, but to ensure that I rise to the occasion, I thank you for the challenge. God bless.
Congratulatory remarks to new speaker.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to extend my sincere congratulations to you on your election to this high office of Speaker of the House of Assembly of Dominica. You know, life is very strange, you know, that I met the Speaker of the function. He had to rise when I walked in, and the next day I had to rise when he walked in. And then if he tells me to take my seat, I have no other choice but to take my seat. And so it speaks, it really reminds all of us of the need to maintain a high degree of humility in the offices that we hold. That irrespective of one's station, we have to show respect. And so rest assured, Mr. Speaker, that you will get my fullest respect, as always, as the Speaker of the House and the one who is in charge of the proceedings of the House. You are the final arbiter on matters relating to the functioning of the House, even if I am considered to be the leader of the House. But you make the decisions, and we shall abide by this. Being the Speaker is a very difficult job. It's not easy, as many people think, but I believe that you have conducted yourself, and I have no doubt that you will continue to do so with aplomb and, of course, with diligence. And so I wish you God's blessings and guidance. And I think one of the things that the public needs to know is the extent of the responsibility of the Speaker of the House. People think it's only during the sitting of Parliament, but it is a very tough administrative, it has many important administrative duties that we have to look at. And this is why I believe that the Parliament will need at some point to consider how it treats the Speaker of the House of Assembly in terms of the support that we provide in carrying out the functions and duties of that very high office. And so I want to congratulate you, and I wish you God's blessings and guidance in this very important office. Thank you.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the parliamentary opposition, I wish to offer congratulations to you on your elevation or to the office of Speaker of the House of Assembly for another term. Under our system of parliamentary democracy, the Speaker has an extremely important role to play. It is our fervent hope that you will exercise the powers vested in you by the Constitution and the standing orders with objectivity, and impartiality. You are the Speaker of the whole House, and as such, you should see all of us in the House as members, irrespective of which side of the House we sit. We look forward to your leadership in this House for the good of all the people of this country. Thank you.
Election of Deputy Speaker.
Yeah, any proposal? Your mic, please. Yes, yeah, okay now. You may proceed.
Excuse me? Yes. We move that Mr. Philip Roll be elected as the Deputy Speaker of the House of Assembly.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to second the proposal.
Is there any other proposer who wants to propose another person? Okay. Well, then I now declare that Mr. Philip Roll has been elected Deputy Speaker of the House of Assembly. That's unopposed, unopposed.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to express my grateful thanks for this high honor that the House has been pleased to confer on me. I also wish to express my sincerest gratitude to the Honorable Prime Minister and other colleagues of this Honorable House for electing me as Deputy Speaker. I remember standing in this Honorable House just 3 days short of 3 years ago with a firm commitment to make a positive contribution to this Parliament and my country. And today, this commitment is fortified times 10. Being elected as Deputy Speaker is a role which I take very seriously, and I am grateful for the guidance of the longest-serving Speaker of the House, who, lucky for me, happens to be my grandmother. And, of course, you as our current Speaker, Honorable Isaac. I would not be here if not for the support and guidance of family, friends, and, of course, the Almighty Father. Today, I look across this Honorable House, and I am as inspired as I am energized by the number of young parliamentarians sitting here today. And Mr. Speaker, it is by no coincidence that the Commonwealth has declared 2023 as the Year of the Youth. I once again express my deepest gratitude and pledge to work diligently in service to this Honorable House and my country. I thank you.
Congratulations remarks to the new Deputy Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Skerrit Popon and then Honorable Blackmore. Okay, you want here, ladies first. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to extend my warmest congratulations to Mr. Philip Roll on his successful assignment for the second term as Deputy Speaker in this Honorable House. Mr. Roll, you have truly exemplified yourself as a noble leader by holding a position which is open to constant criticism and challenge. But you are fair and you're firm in your judgment, and you are always guided by the Constitution and the standing orders of this House. I know that your leadership is admired by many young people in this country. I see your grandmother, Speaker Emeritus, is here today, Alex Board-Knight. She served 20 years in this House, but by the look of things, I suspect you are well on your way to breaking her record that she's so proud of holding. So on behalf of this government
Congratulations on your well-deserved success. We are proud of you, and we look forward to our friendly yet professional cooperation. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, I feel obligated to stand here this morning to express my most profound commendation to the Deputy Speaker. And I'm doing that because I am convinced that when he cast his first vote, it was for me. And I can recall getting the call asking, where do I have to vote? But more importantly, Mr. Speaker, I think you're seeing a demonstration and a manifestation of this Labour Party administration of elevating tomorrow's generation. This is a young man who comes from a family that I know very well, that has demonstrated and embraced a sense of industry and hard work. And I think those qualities are indeed for today's upcoming generation to so embrace and emulate. I am confident that he'll do well, and I wish him well, and good luck, young man. Maybe very soon. And I hope the Speaker doesn't take offense to that. Maybe the Speaker. It's part of your DNA. And then it might be the president one day, even after I'm dead, but answer being used to me. So good luck, and keep on holding your head high, and continue to demonstrate that sense of industry that your family has embraced. That is something I think that is lacking in our society today, in our value system, and it continues to dilute because of social diversion, inspired by the rest of the world. But folks like you, with your virtues that you have embraced from your family, will do everything possible to stand above everything else. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, it will be remiss of me if I do not stand to extend my sincere congratulations to Honorable Philip Rowe for being elected for his second term as Deputy Speaker of the House of Assembly. We will all recall that when he was first appointed, he was the youngest Deputy Speaker ever elected to the House of Assembly in our country's history. And this was a tremendous day for the young people, not only in Dominica, but I dare say throughout the Caribbean world, because they took note of this. We also have, and very soon will take oath of office, the youngest member of the Parliament, who was voted in at 23. She'll now turn 24, and very soon she'll be officially sworn in as a member of Parliament. And when you look on this government side and successive parliaments, you will see a concerted and determined effort to engage more young people in decision-making in Dominica, but also many women too, being given an opportunity to serve at some of the highest offices. And this is a commitment which we have made to the young people of Dominica, and a commitment that has been fulfilled. And I feel the same sense of joy and accomplishment that Honorable Rowe feels for himself. I feel it for him as if I am him, because I believe in celebrating people's successes. I believe in helping people to grow and to be the best that they can be, irrespective of their age. And with a profound sense of humility. With a profound sense of humility, because, you know, it is always said that sometimes if you don't speak for yourself, no one will speak for you. But these things have happened and continue to happen under my leadership as the leader of the Dominican Labour Party in the government of this country. Recognizing young talent, And not only in respect to Deputy Speaker, but you look in the public service, you look on boards and chairpersons of boards, young people are given the opportunity. And my only hope and prayer is that they will use these opportunities not only to build themselves, but to build the country which we all love and serve. And so again, Honorable Rule, congratulations to you, and I look forward to working with you in this Parliament again. Thank you very much.
Let's stand. Almighty God, who in thy infinite wisdom and providential goodness has appointed the offices of rulers and councils for the welfare of society and the just government of man, we beseech thee to behold with thy abundant favor us thy servants, whom thou hast been pleased to call to the performance of such important trust in the Commonwealth of Dominica. Let thy blessing descend upon us here in this Parliament assembled, and grant that we may, as in thy presence, treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote thy honor and glory, and to advance the good of those whose interests thou hast committed to our church. All which we ask in the name and for the sake of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Admiration of oath and or affirmation of allegiance, and oath of office to Speaker and Deputy Speaker. I, Joseph Isaac.
I, Joseph Isaac.
Do swear.
Do swear.
That I will faithfully.
That I will faithfully.
Bear.
Bear.
True allegiance.
True allegiance.
To the Commonwealth of Dominica.
To the Commonwealth of Dominica.
According to law.
According to law.
So help me God.
So help me God.
I, Joseph Isaac.
I, Joseph Isaac.
Do swear.
Do swear.
That I will faithfully.
That I will faithfully.
Execute.
Execute.
The office.
The office.
Of Speaker without fear or favor.
Of Speaker without fear or favor.
Affection or ill will.
Affection or ill will.
And that.
And that.
In the execution of that function.
And in the execution of that function.
Of that office.
Of that office.
I will honor.
I will honor.
Uphold.
Uphold.
And preserve the Constitution.
And preserve the Constitution.
Of the Commonwealth of Dominica.
Of the Commonwealth of Dominica.
So help me God.
So help me God.
I, Philip Rule, do swear that I will faithfully bear true allegiance to the Commonwealth of Dominica according to law. So help me God. I, Philip Roll, do swear that I will faithfully execute the office of Deputy Speaker without fear or favor, affection or ill will, and that in the execution of the functions of that office, I will honor, uphold, and preserve the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Dominica. So help me God.
I must call upon members of the House to take the oath of allegiance or affirmation of allegiance. Honorable Prime Minister. I, Roosevelt Skerrit.
I, Roosevelt Skerrit,
Do swear.
do swear
That I will faithfully bear true allegiance to the Commonwealth of Dominica.
that I will faithfully bear true allegiance to the Commonwealth of Dominica.
According to law.
According to law.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Honorable Levi A. Peter.
I, Levi A. Peter.
I, Levi A. Peter.
Do solemnly affirm.
Do solemnly affirm.
That I will faithfully bear true allegiance.
That I will faithfully bear true allegiance.
To the Commonwealth of Dominica.
To the Commonwealth of Dominica.
According to law.
According to law.
Honorable Dr. Irvin McIntyre.
I, Irvin McIntyre.
I, Irvin McIntyre,
Do swear that I will faithfully.
do swear that I will faithfully
Bear true allegiance.
bear true allegiance
To the Commonwealth of Dominica.
to the Commonwealth of Dominica
According to law.
according to law.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Honorable Dr. Vince Henderson.
I, Vince Henderson.
I, Vince Henderson,
Do swear that I will.
do swear that I will
Faithfully bear true allegiance.
faithfully bear true allegiance
To the Commonwealth of Dominica.
to the Commonwealth of Dominica
According to law.
according to law.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Honorable Rayburn Blackmore.
I, Rayburn Blackmore.
I, Raymond Blackmore,
Do swear.
do swear
That I will faithfully bear.
that I will faithfully bear
True allegiance.
true allegiance
To the Commonwealth of Dominica.
to the Commonwealth of Dominica
According to law.
according to law.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Honorable Dennis A. Charles.
I, Dennis Charles.
I, Dennis Charles,
Do solemnly affirm.
do solemnly affirm
that I will faithfully bear
that I will faithfully bear
true allegiance
true allegiance
to the Commonwealth of Dominica
to the Commonwealth of Dominica
according to law.
according to law.
Honorable Octavia Alfred.
I, Octavia Alfred,
I, Octavia Alfred,
do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will faithfully bear
that I will faithfully bear
true allegiance
true allegiance
to the Commonwealth of Dominica
to the Commonwealth of Dominica
according to law.
according to law.
Honorable Cassani Laville.
I, Cassani Laville,
I, Cassani Laville,
do swear
that
I will faithfully bear
true allegiance
to the Commonwealth of Dominica
to the Commonwealth of Dominica
according to law.
according to law.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Honorable Melissa Popon-Skerrit.
I, Melissa Popon-Skerrit, do swear that I will faithfully bear
True allegiance
true allegiance
to the Commonwealth of Dominica
to the Commonwealth of Dominica
according to law.
according to law.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Honorable Cozier Frederick. Oh, Fidel Grant. Sorry, Fidel Grant. Honorable Fidel Grant. Honorable Cozier Frederick.
I, Cozier Frederick, do solemnly affirm that I will faithfully bear true allegiance to the Commonwealth of Dominica according to law. I, Greta Roberts,
I, Greta Roberts,
do swear
do swear
that I will faithfully bear
that I will faithfully bear
true allegiance
true allegiance
to the Commonwealth of Dominica
to the Commonwealth of
according to
Dominica
law.
according to law.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Honorable Shakira Lockhart Hippolyte.
I, Shakira Lockhart Hippolyte,
I, Shakira Lockett Hippolyte,
do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will faithfully bear
that I will faithfully bear
true
true allegiance
allegiance to the Commonwealth of Dominica
to the Commonwealth of Dominica
according to law.
according to law.
Honorable Miriam Blanchard.
I, Miriam Blanchard,
I, Miriam Blanchard,
do swear
do swear
that I will faithfully bear
that I will faithfully bear
true allegiance
true allegiance
to the Commonwealth of Dominica
to the Commonwealth of Dominica
according to law.
according to law.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Honorable Roland Royer.
I, Roland Royer,
I, Roland Royer,
do swear
do swear
that I will faithfully bear
that I will faithfully bear
true allegiance
true allegiance
to the Commonwealth of Dominica
to the Commonwealth of Dominica
according to law.
according to law.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Dr. Honorable Cassandra Williams.
I, Cassandra Williams,
I, Cassandra Williams,
do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will faithfully
that I will faithfully
bear true allegiance
bear true allegiance
to the Commonwealth of Dominica
to the Commonwealth of Dominica
according to law.
according to law.
Honorable Julian Defoe.
I, Julian Defoe,
I, Julian Defoe,
do swear
do swear
that I will faithfully bear
that I will faithfully bear
true allegiance
true allegiance
to the Commonwealth of Dominica
to the Commonwealth of Dominica
according to law.
according to law.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Honorable Darren Lloyd.
I, Darren Lloyd,
I, Darren Lloyd,
do swear
do swear
that I will faithfully bear
that I will faithfully bear
true allegiance
true allegiance
to the Commonwealth of Dominica
to the Commonwealth of Dominica
according to law.
according to law.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Honorable Oscar George.
Proud of you. Yeah. I, Oscar George,
I, Oscar George,
do swear
do swear
that I will faithfully bear
that I will faithfully bear
true allegiance
true allegiance
to the Commonwealth of Dominica,
to the Commonwealth of Dominica,
according to law.
according to law.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Honorable Fenella Wedam.
I, Fenella Wenham,
I, Finella Wenham,
do swear
do swear
that I will faithfully bear
that I will faithfully bear
true allegiance
true allegiance
to the Commonwealth of
to
Dominica,
the Commonwealth of Dominica,
according to law.
according to law.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Honorable Darren Pinard.
I, Darren Pinard,
I, Darren Pinard,
do swear
do swear
that I will faithfully bear true allegiance
that I will faithfully bear true allegiance
to the Commonwealth of Dominica,
to the Commonwealth of Dominica,
according to law.
according to law.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Honorable Lakia Joseph.
I, Lakia Joseph,
I, Lakia Joseph,
do swear
do swear
that I will faithfully bear
that I will faithfully bear
true allegiance
true allegiance
to the Commonwealth of Dominica,
to the Commonwealth of Dominica,
according to law.
according to law.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Honorable Kent Edwards.
I, Kent Edwards,
I, Kent Edwards,
do swear
do swear
that I will faithfully bear
that I will faithfully bear
true allegiance
true allegiance
to the Commonwealth of Dominica,
to the Commonwealth of Dominica,
according to law.
according to law.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Honorable Dwayne Ostel Lockhart.
I, Dwayne Austin Lockhart,
I, Dwayne Austin Lockhart,
do swear
do swear
that I will faithfully bear
that I will faithfully bear
true allegiance
true allegiance
to the Commonwealth of Dominica,
to the Commonwealth of Dominica,
according to law.
according to law.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Honorable Jesper Paul Victor.
I, Jesper Paul Victor,
I, Jesper Paul Victor,
do swear
do swear
that I will faithfully bear
that I will faithfully bear
true allegiance
true allegiance
to the Commonwealth of Dominica
to the Commonwealth of Dominica
according to law.
according to law.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Honorable Anthony Samora Charles.
I, Anthony Charles,
I, Anthony Charles,
do swear
do swear
that I will faithfully bear
that I will faithfully bear
true allegiance
true allegiance
to the Commonwealth of Dominica
to the Commonwealth of Dominica
according to law.
according to law.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Senator Laurie Victor.
I, Laurie Victor,
I, Laurie Victor,
do swear
do swear
that I will faithfully bear
that I will faithfully bear
true allegiance
true allegiance
to the Commonwealth of Dominica
to the Commonwealth of Dominica
according to law.
according to law.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Senator Sean R. Douglas.
I, Sean Douglas,
I, Sean Douglas,
do swear
do swear
that I will faithfully bear
that I will faithfully bear
true allegiance
true allegiance
to the Commonwealth of Dominica
to the Commonwealth of Dominica
according to law.
according to law.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Senator Lorraine M. Henderson Reid.
I, Lauren Henderson Reid,
I, Lauren Henderson Reid,
do swear
do swear
that I will faithfully bear
that I will faithfully bear
true allegiance
true allegiance
to the Commonwealth of Dominica
to the Commonwealth of Dominica
according to law.
according to law.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Senator Delbert R. Paris.
I, Delbert Paris,
I, Delbert Paris,
do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will faithfully
that I will faithfully
bear true allegiance
bear true allegiance
to the Commonwealth of Dominica
to the Commonwealth of Dominica
according to law.
according to law.
adoption of the order paper.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the order paper be adopted as amended.
I second the motion.
It has been moved and seconded that the order paper be adopted. Those in favor? Aye. Those against? The ayes have it.
Suspension of sitting.
I now suspend the sitting in order to meet His Excellency the President.
Mr. Speaker.
Okay, so the vehicle has made a stop now and the vehicle is now opened. The president will alight from the vehicle and his wife as well, Mrs. Clara Savre. So here is the president of Dominica, His Excellency Charles Savre, as he makes his way to Parliament. And we see the wife of His Excellency the President being escorted to Parliament by the President's Secretary. And now the arrival of His Excellency the President of the Commonwealth of Dominica, Charles Angelo Savre, DAH, as he makes his way now to the dais on this lovely Tuesday morning, hot sun.
Guard of honor! Presidential salute! Present! Excellency, on the occasion of the first meeting of the first session of the 11th Parliament, I, George Theoville, Superintendent of Police, acting in the Commonwealth of Dominica Police Force, do have the distinct pleasure in presenting to you a guard of honor comprising of 2 platoons from the Commonwealth of Dominica Police Force, 1 platoon for the Dominican Fire and Ambulance Services, and the government band. They are formed in 2 ranks, dressed in open order, awaiting the pleasure of your inspection. Your Excellency, may you please inspect the guard.
And so the president makes his way now to inspect the 4 platoons, starting with the government band of Dominica, as he makes his way down, and the music is being played. Wonderful ambience here on the Victoria Streets. Kiwana, very lovely.
Oui, oui, eh bien, nous là encore. Puis, coup ça là, c'est président Dominique, M. Charles Savrin, qui a inspecté ces groupes-là qui devant nous actuellement. Nous avons Music Lovers Government Band, avec aussi inspecté ces polices-là qui sont aussi là. M. Irish qui essaie d'expliquer nous exactement ça qu'il a fait.
Yes, well, as we speak, His Excellency is just going through the first police platoon, which is headed by Inspector Johnson. And of course, the Chief of Police himself is there, and his aide car. His Excellency is going through the front rank, and then he's going to go to the rear rank, and then he's going to come back into the dais where the parade commander, Superintendent George Schofield, will request his permission to continue. So we can hear that beautiful music there by the government band. It's a lovely day in Dominica on Victoria Street. And of course the band leader, Peter Later, who took over from his mom, Valina Later. So His Excellency is now inspecting the rear platoon. He will come right across, make a left turn, and come back into the dais where the parade commander, Superintendent George Schofield, will request his permission to continue. So as we speak, His Excellency is getting back into the dais.
All right, j'avais président Charles Savrin retourné devant.
Your Excellency, may I have your permission to continue? Guard of honor! Presidential salute! Present!
President of Dominica, His Excellency Charles Angelo Savrin, making his way now to the main entrance of Parliament, as we will resume with the proceedings. And then the government band of Dominica and the 3 other platoons will make their way back to their base with music, of course.
Parliament resumes as His Excellency is going to address the nation and of course Parliament. So at this point, the police officers, the Guard of Honor, will make the exit
as the proceedings will continue at the House with His Excellency addressing Parliament.
Thank you, Mr. Irish. Merci autant. Mais I ne sais pas exactement ça y parler contre là actuellement. Mais assez en part session ça y supposé qu'à faire.
Yes, indeed. Well, of course, the Superintendent of Police, Mr. George Stufield, will take his exit, but the second in command, Assistant Superintendent Claude Wicks, will take over the platoon. So he is now reporting to the superintendent, who will take his leave, and Mr. Wicks, who is his second in command, will take over, and then the platoon, they will march off to police headquarters.
Okay. Là où il take over, ça veut dire qu'il
I
continue.
will now invite His Excellency the President to address the House. Mr. President.
Mr. Speaker, honorable members of the House of Assembly, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the listening and viewing public, it is with a great sense of gratitude to God that I bid a very pleasant and blessed good morning to you all. Mr. Speaker, it is indeed a great pleasure for me to address a message to this august body and the nation for a 10th time in my capacity as President of the Commonwealth of Dominica on this most significant occasion of the formal opening of Parliament, the first meeting of the first session of the 11th Parliament under the Commonwealth of Dominican Constitution Order. I am pleased to be here and wish, first of all, to express sincere thanks to you, Mr. Speaker, for the invitation extended to my wife and I to the formal start of the 2023-2024 parliamentary session. My wife, Clara, joins me in thanking you most earnestly for your kind and gracious invitation. Please accept, Mr. Speaker, my sincere congratulations on your re-election as Speaker of this Honorable House. Having served this last 3 years in the Speaker's chair, you have gained much experience and understanding of the rules and customs of this legislative assembly. I have every confidence that you will continue to excel in presiding over the deliberations of this 11th Parliament and apply the standing orders of discretion, objectivity, and impartiality. I pray that the good Lord favors you with the spirit of wisdom and patience as you continue to exercise this sacred duty. Congratulations are also offered to you, Senator the Honorable Philip Rowe, on your re-election as Deputy Speaker of the House. I was very impressed with the way that you presided over the business of the House when the opportunity presented itself, and I have no doubt that you will maintain the professional approach to your role during this 11th Parliament. I also offer congratulations to all the honorable members who were successful in the December 6, 2022 general elections, as well as the 5 senators who were appointed on the advice of the Honorable Prime Minister, and the 4 senators on the advice of the Honorable Leader of the Opposition to complete the composition of this Honorable House. I commend and congratulate the Honorable Prime Minister in leading his party to success at the polls. I believe, sir, that you have become the only Prime Minister in Caribbean history to have served 6 consecutive terms as Prime Minister and to have led your party successfully to 5 consecutive general election victories. This is an extraordinary achievement that needs to be acknowledged and applauded. I sincerely wish to commend and congratulate the Honorable Leader of the Opposition, who was sworn in by the President on Tuesday, the 20th day of December 2022, and to say to you, Madam, and to the members of the parliamentary opposition, that yours is a most sacred task, and encourage all of you to remain true to the oaths that you have subscribed to this morning, and to be constructive in your contributions to the debates in this House and the general governance of the affairs of the state. Mr. Speaker, the general elections campaign had all of the usual meetings and rallies and walks and marches. But we did not see a repetition of the regrettable incidents which occurred in the lead-up to the 2019 poll, nor the violence on Election Day 2019 itself. I therefore wish to congratulate all the shareholders, and that means all of us, in the December 6th elections for a peaceful conduct of the polls. Mr. Speaker, please permit me at this juncture to offer a few words of advice to the new members of this honorable House. That is, all 6 members of the opposition and 9 first-time members on the government side. Parliament is the supreme legislative body where matters affecting governance and affairs of state are deliberated upon and voted into law. Freedom of speech without threat of legal action for slander is one of the most important privileges enjoyed by members of Parliament. However, the right to speak is governed by the standing orders of the House. The standing orders are essential to safeguard and maintain order and decorum when debates are taking place. The standing orders provide guidance as to what you can say, how you can say it, when you can say it, and for how long you can speak on each matter. The Speaker of the House presides over the proceedings of the House and is charged with the responsibility of maintaining order in the chamber by ensuring that the rules of the House and established practices are followed and respected. Additionally, the Speaker has the duty to interpret the rules and give guidance as to the practices of the House to ensure that the debate is focused. His rulings on points of order raised by members is final. So while the Speaker of the House is charged with maintaining the dignity and decorum of the House, each of you must take responsibility for your behavior and to make your contributions in an appropriate manner. I therefore make a special appeal to you to have due regard to the rulings and admonitions of the Speaker and to familiarize yourself with the standing orders of the House. I encourage you, whether elected or appointed as a senator, to aim to become an effective member of Parliament. This would require you to seek advice, to always prepare for the debate by reading and conducting research, to always have a firm grasp of the issues at hand, and develop good research techniques and organizational skills. It is a daunting task, but the rewards in terms of personal growth, confidence, satisfaction, and the attainment of a wealth of knowledge and respect by your peers and constituents are immense. Mr. Speaker, during the last 9 years, since being elected by this honorable House as President of Dominica, Initially on the 2nd of October 2013 and re-elected on the 2nd of October 2018, I subscribed on both occasions to the prescribed oaths pertaining to the office of the President and indicated unequivocally in my acceptance speeches that I was assuming the office of President without malice or ill will towards anyone, without fear of intimidation, and with respect for the traditions, laws, and Constitution of Dominica, which I swore to uphold. I have remained true and loyal to these commitments, and by God's grace and goodness, I have been discharging the functions of the office of the President for these 9 years plus, as outlined in the Constitution, with the highest sense of dedication, impartiality, objectivity, fairness, and consideration for all, and have sought to maintain a sense of dignity and serenity in the office of President. Mr. Speaker, honorable members of the House of Assembly, thus far it has been a rewarding, fulfilling, and enjoyable experience serving my people and nation. As with everything else in life, there will be good moments and difficult and challenging moments. Overwhelming challenges emerged within my first 5-year term as well as during my second term. Foremost to mind are Tropical Storm Erica in 2015, Hurricane Maria in 2017, unpredictability of weather patterns due to global warming and climate change, the COVID-19 pandemic, and the global impact of the Russian-Ukraine war. The President is also challenged by the impact of other social ills confronting the state, such as crime, violence, and acute political division. As a prayerful and resilient people and nation, we have been able to address the impacts of these challenges and have nevertheless made great progress and strides in many sectors, particularly in the areas of physical infrastructure, health, housing, tourism, education, information and communication technology, entrepreneurship, renewable energy development, and in providing for the elderly, the very young, and the dispossessed. I have been privileged to oversee the philanthropic work of the President's Charities Foundation, Incorporated, which on an annual basis provides cash donations to some 17 charitable organizations. I wish to take this opportunity to thank the chairperson and members of the President's Charities Foundation, both past and present, and look forward to the continued support to the President in office. The work of the Foundation is made possible by the generous support of sponsors and the patrons who purchase tickets and participate in our fundraising events. Mr. Speaker, honorable members of the House of Assembly, the greatest part of the President's job is to ensure the smooth functioning of the organs of the state in accordance with the provisions of the Constitution. The Constitution requires the President to discharge his functions on the advice of the appropriate authority, which in most cases is the Prime Minister and/or the Cabinet. But in certain circumstances, may be the leader of the opposition, certain trade unions, and commissions established by the Constitution. In certain specific circumstances, the President is authorized to act in his own deliberate judgment. Such actions must be in accordance with the provisions of the Constitution and applicable law, and in the best interests of our people and nation. The President cannot arrogate unto himself powers not specifically provided for in the Constitution or applicable law. The office of the President and the President himself remain open and available to all to listen, to advise, and to caution. As the 8th President, I am truly proud of what we have accomplished together. Mr. Speaker, honorable members of this honorable House, the gratifying experience that I referred to earlier would not have been possible without the grace and mercy of Almighty God. Without the love, support, understanding, and cooperation of my dear wife and family, friends, well-wishers, the President, Secretary, and staff of the office, and official residents of the President, and the ADC and the security detail. For all of this, I will be forever thankful and grateful. I express gratitude to the Honorable Prime Minister and members of the House of Assembly for conferring the dignity and responsibility of the office of the President on me for 2 consecutive 5-year terms. Your confidence and trust is much appreciated. I would further like to thank the line ministries and departments, particularly the Office of the Prime Minister and the Cabinet Secretariat, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Chambers of the Attorney General, the Dominica Police Force, the Government Information Service, the ICT unit, the NEP unit, the Local Government Department, and the Dominica State Prisons for the extension of courtesies and invaluable partnership. Mr. President, it has been the honor of my life to serve the people of Dominica as President. It is the culmination of 60 years of public service as an assistant master at the Dominica Grammar School, a trade unionist, senator, minister of government, ambassador, manager of the National Development Corporation, elected member of the Roseau Central constituency, minister of government once again, and as president. My second 5-year term comes to an end on October the 1st of this year. Until then, I will continue to discharge the functions of president. I commit to my successor that the office and the official residence of the president will make the necessary arrangements to ensure the smoothest possible transition. Mr. Speaker, the unprecedented impacts of climate change, compounded by significant consequences of the COVID-19 pandemic and the Russia-Ukraine war, are expected to continue influencing global discourse in various forums, particularly centered on sustainability, environmental justice, supply chain management, energy reliability, inflation, food security, among others. All of these impacts have serious ramifications for the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals, which are targeted by global leaders to be achieved by 2030. Mr. Speaker, honorable members of this House of Assembly, life experiences have taught us that something good often comes out of a bad situation. The SWOT analysis tool tells us that there are not only threats, but also opportunities. So no matter how severe and sad the circumstances of these challenges are, there are generally upsides as well. The onus is therefore upon us to make the best use of what the crises offer. Some of the opportunities to be derived from the impacts of those three crises mentioned are as follows. 1. Regarding climate change, to focus on renewable energy as a climate-related phenomenon provided opportunity for growth, companies can also incorporate green technologies into their designs and operations. To encourage credit facilities to expand lending to projects that will help small businesses become more energy efficient and sustainable, and to facilitate the removal of excessive red tape which stifles investment in renewable energy and other climate-friendly projects. This would create an environment in which the private sector can thrive and in which investments in renewable energy can make financial sense. 2. The COVID-19 pandemic provides opportunities for increased digitalization, automation, and analysis. There is, as a result, a growing need for employees who can digitize and automate business processes. Organizations which survive also stand to realize cost savings, improve compliance, resilience in processes, and business continuity. Conventional banking, that is standing in line at a teller's cage, is fast becoming something of the past. New and flexible career opportunities are expanding. Virtual is now the new normal. There has been increased connectivity that goes beyond geographical boundaries as it relates to online learning, online meetings and conferences, and online job opportunities. The Russia-Ukraine war's disruption of global supply chains mandate prioritizing of structural transformation that is green, inclusive, and resilient, the rapid transformation from dependence on fossil fuels to relying on renewable energy sources, advancement of the regional economic and social integration agenda. This will help erode the many artificial boundaries that block the movement of people, goods, and services across the Caribbean region, and renewed emphasis on growing what we eat and eating what we grow. This would help reduce the high level of dependency on imported foods and thereby reduce the high food import bill. Mr. Speaker, the issue of electoral reform has loomed over us through several election cycles. Government has played its part in facilitating this initiative through the provision of technical and financial support to the responsible authority, and more recently, the engagement of a prominent and high-profile legal mind in the person of Sir Dennis Byron to review the existing electoral legislation and processes and to submit recommendations for reform. I therefore urge members on both sides of this honorable House and the public at large to acknowledge that the process is almost complete and to approach the consultations and debate on electoral reform from the point of view of ensuring that the rights of all eligible voters are protected, and to be vigilant to ensure that names of persons who are no longer eligible to be on the voters list, in conformity with our existing laws, are removed following due process. I look forward to the consultation on the report of Sir Dennis Byron on this matter, and I have every confidence that the unresolved issues of electoral reform will be given priority attention by this new administration. The Honorable Prime Minister gave the assurance following the results of the election that he would ensure that all stakeholders, including the Commonwealth Secretariat and the OAS, would be engaged in consultation to review the report and recommendations by Sir Dennis Byron, and that once an acceptable draft legislation is agreed upon on this matter, a bill would be brought before Parliament for its consideration. I take the Honorable Prime Minister at his word. We were journeying satisfactorily until our commendable performance and achievements and high expectations were brought to an abrupt halt in 2020 by the emergence of the coronavirus or COVID-19 pandemic. Focus and resources had to be diverted urgently to address the unprecedented and fluid challenges of this new health crisis. What we had hoped to achieve has been derailed in many ways by the COVID-19 pandemic, and government revenues have taken a hard blow. The Honorable Prime Minister has therefore called for a national reset to put Dominica safely back on a road of sustained progress and prosperity. We are all well known to persevere in the face of adversity, and I am quite confident that we can achieve the national reset agenda in the post-COVID era, including the goal of boosting agriculture to contribute some $700 million to our GDP by 2030, which would be a 100% increase in our present output. To achieve this, however, we would need to take full ownership of this new opportunity and commit to work even harder and smarter with the required energy, purpose, and commitment. The civil service, indeed the entire public sector, which is the machinery through which government policies and programs are advanced and implemented, is essential to making a success of this reset. As a result, there would have to be a new approach in the civil service, statutory corporations, quasi-government organizations, financial institutions, and government contractors, all committing to this new paradigm that is never leaving for tomorrow that which can be done successfully and efficiently today. The same must also apply to the private sector. We must be willing to work assiduously together, including in this Parliament, for the common good of the people of this, our country. Finally, Mr. Speaker, the series of plans, programs, and policies that have been articulated and implemented by the government in recent years clearly indicate that government took on board the lessons learned from the experiences of those three major crises highlighted in this message, and the opportunities to be derived from them. Additionally, prospects for the post-COVID era hold much promise for achieving sustainable development and significant progress in advancing the international airport and geothermal electricity development projects, which are pillars in our quest towards the achieving of resilience as a nation. The road ahead is going to be challenging, but we have shown in the past that we are capable of rising to the challenge after all. So let us embrace each other as fellow Dominicans and work together for the benefit, the transformation, and further development of our country. We have done amazingly well in navigating the turbulent times. Let us count our many blessings and give glory to God. God bless you, and may God bless the Commonwealth of Dominica, I thank you all for the courtesy of your attention. I thank you.
I shall now take leave of His Excellency the President.
Mr. Speaker.
House resumes.
Mr. Speaker, I move that message of thanks be forwarded to His Excellency the President for his very timely address to the 10th Parliament.
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion.
The question is that a message of thanks be forwarded to His Excellency the President. Those in favor? Those against? The ayes have it.
Obituary and congratulatory remarks.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, I rise for a very quick minute to extend to the family of late Irvin Chillingford our sincere condolences on his passing. Mr. Chillingford, as we all know, was a prominent sportsman in our country who represented Dominica on the West Indies cricket team as the first Dominican who would have served on the West Indies cricket team, and really opened doors for many small islanders, including another Dominican, to make the West Indies cricket team. And so we, as a government, recognize his contribution to Dominica. We've made a derogation to an existing policy on who accorded the privilege of receiving an official funeral. And we have taken a decision to bestow on Mr. Shillingford, Mrs. Rains, an official funeral. And so we mourn his death, and I think the entire sporting and cricketing world would have certainly mourning his death. I also want to extend condolences to so many families who have lost loved ones this year. But I want to seek the indulgence of the Parliament to allow me to extend condolences to the family of the late Linda Jar, who hails from Penville, a very sincere supporter of mine for so many years. You know, a source of tremendous strength and support. And so I also mourn her death, and I want to extend to her entire family in Penville my sincere condolences. Mr. Speaker, while on my feet, I also want to extend congratulations to all members of this House who were sworn in today, who took the oath today, and to say to them that this must be about service to the people who we serve, who we represent. And I want to, while I'm at this, to extend my own gratitude to, first of all, the Lord, my family, and very importantly to the residents and voters of the Bakers constituency, who have demonstrated and bestowed their confidence and trust in me to the Member of Parliament. Because in all of the positions I hold, Mr. Speaker, all of the positions I hold, the position of parliamentary rep is the most important thing. Because if it's not for them, I will not be here. And so I want to extend and express my sincere thanks to them for the level of support that they've shown to me. And whenever there's elections, then there is certainly the demonstration of that support. And so I want to say to us in Parliament, we're here to do the people's business. And we must do so diligently, respectfully, and with humility. Humility, I believe, Mr. Speaker, is a commodity that you cannot buy from the shelves. You can't shop online for it. You know, but we have to, as a people, maintain the level of humility that's required in the position that we hold. And we must also have a profound sense of empathy, putting ourselves in people's shoes and finding solutions to the challenges which they face. That, I believe, is our ultimate responsibility, carrying out our biblical and Christian mandate to look after especially those in vulnerable circumstances. And so as we're here in this first sitting, let us renew our commitment to these ideals and to ensure that we can do the best that we can with the resources that we have. And then we go to the Lord in prayer and supplication for those things which we can't do by ourselves. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, at this time, our thoughts and our prayers are with the people of Turkey and Syria. As you know, Mr. Speaker, there was an earthquake yesterday morning which resulted in the death of thousands of people. Initial figures were about a couple hundred. Last time I checked, over 6,000 people, or close to 6,000 people have died as a result of this devastating earthquake. And so our thoughts and prayers of the people of Syria and Turkey. I know we have diplomatic relations with Turkey. I don't think we have with Syria. So I'm hoping that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the government of Dominica will certainly use our good office to extend sympathies to the people of Turkey and, of course, to the people of Syria. Mr. Speaker, we are a country of limited financial resources, but I believe now in this time of need, when the international community is rallying around the people of Syria and Turkey in terms of offering assistance, I believe, Mr. Speaker, that we can see what we can do to make our contribution and join the World Community of Nations in providing whatever support we can to the people of Turkey and Syria at this critical time. Mr. Speaker, in 1971, I believe it was, this House committed $1,000 to the liberation struggle in South Africa.
Member, it is about just congratulatory remarks, or if you want to extend your heartfelt sympathies, that's it. Okay. But it's not a time to spend 5 minutes speaking. So I would ask you to just stay focused, stay on track as per what's on the other paper.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for your guidance. Mr. Speaker, I move now to Irvin Shillingford, who he was the first Dominican to score a Test 100. He had an exemplary record as a batsman for Dominica, Windward Islands, Combined Islands, and West Indies. But for the fact that he was born in Dominica, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Shillingford would have gone on to bat alongside people like Roy Fredericks, Clive Lloyd, Viv Richards, and others. So that insularity that prevented Mr. Shillingford from going on to play many more Test matches, I'm hoping that in 2023 that persons who have the talent will be selected not based on where they were born, but based on their ability. I knew Mr. Shillingford very well. He was my neighbor in Goodwill. I lived on Rose Street. He lived on Francis Lane. And so our families are very close. And so his death really is a loss, not just to the country, but to me personally. I'm hoping that Mr. Shillingford, his life, his exploits in cricket will serve as an inspiration to young people that you can achieve great things if you put your mind to it. And finally, Mr. Speaker, I want to also extend condolences to the family and friends of Mr. Melvin Constant, better known as Solo. I was lucky enough, I didn't know him in his prime when he won the crown in 75, 76, 77, and I believe sometime in the early 70s, so he won the crown 4 times. But I was lucky enough, Mr. Speaker, to witness him perform at a King of Kings show in New York. And that was one of perhaps the most enjoyable shows, calypso shows, that I've attended, and I've attended many in my lifetime. I think Solo will go down in history as one of Dominica's greatest calypsonians. And that song, Mass in the Cemetery, this iconic song, that song, believe me, I see it as great as Frank Sinatra's My Way or Otis Redding sitting on the dock of the bay.
Senator Douglas.
Yeah. Okay, Mr. Speaker. Okay, Mr. Speaker.
By the time you finish, there'll be no more time for other members to get an opportunity.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so, yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I see you have a prelude of things to come.
But yes.
Mr. Speaker, I join Senator Douglas in extending condolences to the people of Syria, and I will help him a little. I think the official name is Turkey. I think they did that change some time ago. And when we sent a note to them yesterday, we did in fact correct it properly. We spelled it properly. So yes, we join you in doing that, and we too are in sympathy with them. Mr. Speaker, I rise to extend condolences in particular to the family of Irvin Shillingford. Unlike the senator, he wasn't my neighbor, but he is my cousin's father and the cousin of my 2 brothers who themselves play cricket. I wish to extend condolences to the family. I know it's a difficult time for them, but for the country that's in mourning, for someone who, in the prime of his youth, helped to get Dominica to punch above its weight as a small state and to make an indelible mark in international cricket. But I think for us, there's a lesson that Irvin and Grayson, Caleb Laura, and as we go to Thomas Kentish, and your good friend, Javanatian, I know you would say that there was a time when Dominica dominated cricket in the Windward Islands, but also made the West Indies. But the lesson for me is they did that.
Honorable Minister,
yes.
remember what I told the Senator.
Following the Senator.
So yes, stay focused, stay on track.
Yes,
let's
sir.
deal with the congratulatory
Yes,
message and let's move on.
But no, it is important. Yes. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I will, follow your instructions. But it would be remiss of me not to make mention of the fact that Irvin Shillingford made that contribution when there were less facilities, but we were able to achieve more. And I think this is why we need to recognize the contribution that he's made. So I think perhaps, we need to reflect on that. And that is the point I wish to make. I am not seeking to follow my friend, since in fact he's the one following me. And I want to congratulate him and all of us who are now members of the House, those especially the new members of the House. But Mr. Speaker, I also want to take the opportunity to congratulate my constituent, Alec Afanaz, who himself is leading the Windward Islands team. And I'm hoping that he will follow the footsteps of Irvin Shillingford. And that as we seek to provide better facilities, well, I know the politics of West Indies cricket, but I am satisfied that they will have no choice. They will have no choice because it will be such a grave injustice that they must get Ali Gafinas on that team. And I want to take the opportunity to congratulate him and to thank all of those who have contributed to that. I see the chairman of the Grand Bay Village Council here who has provided the support and those who have volunteered over the years to help him in achieving his position, Rafa and Teacher Willie and the rest of them. So I wish to extend congratulations to him. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
So I will just take one more. So decide who is going to yield. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yes, proceed, Minister George.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I too want to add my voice in expressing my sincere condolences to the family of the late Irvin Shillingford. Arguable, Irvin was one of the best batsmen Dominica and the Windward Islands could ever produce. And his contribution is very significant, as the speakers before me mentioned, and it's important that we become aware of his contribution and use that as a benchmark going forward. And it's important to note, Mr. Speaker, that Irvin succeeded in a time when there was so much competition in the regional level. And through all these hard times, Irvin was able to succeed and represent Dominica to the best of his ability. So we want to extend our sympathies to his family. The Ministry of Sport visited his family and expressed our sympathies in person. And I also want to ask that all Dominicans keep the family in their prayers and in their thoughts going forward. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah, we'll just take one, Honorable Prime Minister, just one more, because I know Honorable Minister there, Blanchard, wanted to say something, but very short.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I will be very short. I also want to express condolences to another Irving, our dear colleague, Dr. McIntyre, Irving McIntyre, on the recent passing of his dear wife. Our condolences. I'm sure. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, okay. All I would like to say is I would just like to congratulate all members on both sides of the House for their, those who were victorious at the polls, Congratulations. A round of applause to them, please. And all members who were nominated to be senators, a round of applause. I won't say too much about Irvin Shillingford. Irvin Shillingford and my family go way back. So I just want to just, big him up, big up his family, because it was very long already. So let's proceed.
Confirmation of minutes of meeting of Tuesday 26th and Wednesday 27th, Thursday 28th, Friday 29th July, and Tuesday 2nd and Monday 22nd August 2022.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that the minutes of the meeting of Tuesday 26th and Wednesday 27th, Thursday 28th, Friday 29th of July 2022, and Tuesday 2nd August 2022, and Monday 22nd August 2022 be confirmed as circulated.
Mr. Speaker, I make second motion.
It has been moved and seconded that the minutes of the meeting of Tuesday 28th and Wednesday 27th, Thursday 28th and Friday 29th of July 2022, and Tuesday 2nd of August and Monday the 22nd of August 2022 be adopted. Those in favor? Those against? The ayes have it.
Announcement by Speaker.
No major announcement. It's just that I just wanted to point out one thing. We recognize that although the ministers, Prime Minister, opposition leader, and ministers of government took the oath of office as ministers, they came to Parliament and they took the oath again, but that's different. So when they took the oath, the first time with the president, they took the oath to be a member of the executive branch. When all the members took the oath this morning, including myself and the deputy speaker, at the time of taking the oath, 1 second after, we became members, formal members, operational members of the legislature. And therefore, any questions or any major work of trying to do work before becoming a member would be out of order. I just wanted to guide the House about this. Just guide the House about this. That's the only announcement.
Presentation of papers.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to lay on the table the following papers. 1, proclamation dissolving Parliament, SRO number 32 of 2022. And 2, proclamation reconvening Parliament, SRO number 1 of 2023.
Yes, it's good now.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to lay the following papers on the table. Schedule of supplementary appropriation for the period July 2021 to June 2022. Dominica Agricultural, Industrial and Development Bank Financial Statement 2021. And 2021 Debt Portfolio Review Report.
Government notices.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to give notice that at a later stage of the proceedings, I will be moving the motion supplementary estimates of expenditure for the financial year ending 30th of June 2022, and will be taking all 3 stages of the bills shortly entitled Value Added Tax Amendment Act 2023, and Pensions Amendment Act 2023, standing in my name on the order paper.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to give notice that at a later stage of the proceedings, I will be taking all three stages of the bill shortly entitled by Resolution Amendment Act of 2023, standing in my name on the other paper.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to give notice that at the later stage of the proceedings, I'll be taking all three stages of the bill shortly entitled Stamp Amendment Act 2023, standing in my name on the order paper.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to give notice that at a later stage of the proceedings, I will be taking all stages of the bills shortly entitled Highway Maintenance Levy Repeal Act of 2023 and Vehicles and Road Traffic Amendment Act 2023, standing in my name on the order paper.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to give notice that at a later stage of the proceedings, I will be taking all three stages of the bills shortly entitled International Maritime Act 2023 and Civil Aviation Amendment Act 2023, standing in my name on the order paper.
Statement by Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to issue a very short statement on electoral modernization. As I understand, there are some 15 people outside wanting to hear about electoral modernization. I want to say to the Parliament, Mr. Speaker, that since the engagement of Sir Dennis Byron and his submission of his first draft report, which was submitted in December, I have met with Sir Dennis for this year on 2 occasions to discuss his recommendations in the draft report. There would have been a third meeting yesterday at 3 p.m. with Sir Dennis Byron. And Sir Dennis Byron requested a postponement of that meeting. Because of the importance which myself and this government place on electoral reform, I indicated to Sir Dennis Byron that I am prepared to meet with him today, February 7th, at 1:30 p.m., notwithstanding the fact that Parliament takes precedence over all my other engagements. I've decided to set this meeting for today. So I shall meet Mr. Dennis Byron today at 1:30 p.m. And my hope is that this will be the final meeting that we will have before he submits his final report. I also want to say to the Parliament and the people of Dominica that in the terms of references of the engagement of Sir Dennis Byron, the drafting of legislation was not part of it. At the request of Sir Dennis Byron and the chairman of the Electoral Commission, I authorized the engagement of a legal drafts expert to draft all of the legislation to form part of the submission on electoral reform. And as Minister of Finance, I provided all of the resources to pay for the legal consultant to draft those legislation. I have said to Sir Dennis Byron, and I will say to the Parliament of Dominica and to the people of Dominica, that this matter is the matter that I wish to put to rest once and for all in our country. And I wish to come to the Parliament to seek parliamentary approval of the new legislation by April of this year, so that the process of implementation can begin immediately thereafter. And so I'm hoping that this meeting this afternoon, Mr. Dennis Byron, will be the final one, and that we will receive the final report from Sir Dennis Byron the soonest, so that there can be consultation with stakeholders. Because consultation with any politician or any group of politicians is not the final point of consultation. The people of Dominica must be consulted on this very important matter of their right to be given, the right to vote in Dominica, if they so choose to register and to vote in Dominica's election. So I want to make it very clear, Mr. Speaker, that we shall continue to engage in this matter of electoral reform with the highest sense of transparency. The highest sense of transparency. We have absolutely nothing to hide or to be afraid of with this process. Because the records will show that this is the only political party in our country's history that has taken the responsible approach of engaging with the modernization of our electoral processes in Dominica. But I will say this also, that every election that we've had in Dominica, prior to and post our independence, were all free and fair. And everyone accepted those results. But there has been a culture in our country to give the impression to the international community that our elections are not free and fair. We're all here today, Mr. Speaker, because a process under the Constitution and appropriate laws of Dominica will recognize, and people demonstrated their franchise and the constitutional right to vote in our elections. This is why we have 21 elected members of parliament sitting here. And this is why we have 9 nominated persons, senators, sitting in the parliament today. And everyone who wanted to vote and who was on the voters list was never hindered from being open voting. And all the independent observers who came to observe our elections declared that they were free and fair elections in Dominica. And I will go back to 2019, that even in 2019 election, when there were even external involvement in our elections by the OAS and others, with the Secretary General of the OAS. The OAS itself declared in 2019 that there were free and fair elections in Dominica. And in this election, Mr. Speaker, you know who the first who congratulated me as Prime Minister? The Secretary General of the OAS. And so it is a disservice to our country and right-thinking Dominicans. Forget about your political persuasion, but be guided by your conscience and your commitment to our country and your professed love for Dominica and your gratitude to our country that has given all of us what we have, that we must not give the international community the impression that the conduct of our business in Dominica is not done in a transparent and honorable way. It's not good for us. This is not politics. This is being anti-Dominican. And so let us engage ourselves in a serious, mature manner. If we say we truly want the electoral modernization, let us engage ourselves in a serious, mature, transparent manner, and let us bring this matter of electoral modernization to a successful and transparent end. I give the people of this country and this parliament the most sincere assurances that this matter of electoral reform in Dominica, electoral modernization in Dominica, will continue to be conducted in a transparent manner. And that demonstration is recognized by the engagement of one of the most prominent legal luminaries in our Caribbean, Sir Dennis Byron, to assist us in examining in a dispassionate, objective manner our electoral systems and to see what we can do to engage this. And I will say to the public and the Parliament again, that in furtherance of his work, as Prime Minister of this country, I wrote to the Secretary General of the Commonwealth and the Secretary General of the Organization of American States, soliciting their expert guidance and human resources to assist us in even reviewing that which Sir Dennis Byron would have submitted to us and to ensure that it meets international best practices based on their own knowledge of electoral laws and electoral processes. And my final point to us, the issue of citizenship of our country and the issue of the rights and privileges of citizens of Dominica, and the fact that many people died to ensure that we have this franchise to vote, a very important and solemn right. And in many countries in the world today, there are many citizens who do not have that right to vote. It is important for us to set aside narrow partisanship and recognize our greater duty and obligation to the people of this country, and to ensure that in the process of electoral modernization, that no Dominican has the opportunity is denied the opportunity to get registered if he or she so chooses, and thereby denying him his right or her right from voting or elections. I want to say to us in Dominica that if we allow this to happen, history will not be kind to us. And we shall live with our consciences being haunted by our letting down of our forebears who fought to get us where we are today as a free-spirited, independent, democratic country. And so let us not, I'm not in this politics business, Mr. Speaker. I am here in the Parliament for 23 years, January for the first pass. So I'm not in this business of playing politics and everything, Mr. Speaker. This as a history of student, as a student of history, and somebody who has a very strong ideological view on these things. We must not come here to play politics in this country on this thing. And we're not on this side afraid of any modernization processes, because we know that under any circumstances, when we present ourselves to Dominica, they will put us back in a way. And the truth be told, I would like to see this process come to an end at the earliest time. And I'm hoping that we can come to Parliament just for one matter. We'll convene Parliament, Mr. Speaker, just for one matter. And if that day can be a Saturday or Sunday, then let it be. Just to pass the legislation dealing with electoral reform. So I'm saying to all those listening to me that if you're serious about electoral reform, let it happen. But I will say this to those who do not want it to happen, that you can jump high, jump low. There will be electoral modernization in Dominica. Because there are some who say they want it, but do not want it. Because they want to continue to give the international community the impression that this government doesn't want electoral modernization or electoral reform in Dominica. And so I'm saying to all that I want it. And I want it now. And we will put all of the resources to ensure that it happens in the likeness and the image of the Dominican people. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Introduction of...
Mr. Speaker, as I said, I have a 1:40 meeting. And I'm moving to suspend the House until 3 p.m. this afternoon. Thank you.
I beg to second, Speaker.
It has been moved and seconded that the House be suspended until 3 p.m. this afternoon. Those in favor? Those against? The ayes have it. House stands suspended until 3 p.m. this afternoon.